Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've had a good cup of tea and coffee because there is great information that's going to be discussed on this dais today and great exchange of knowledge that is going to set the tone for education in the coming future. So my name is Samriti Grover and it gives me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome on behalf of Dataquest Cyber Media. I would like to welcome you to the Dataquest 4th edition of T-School Higher Education Conference and Awards 2022. And we appreciate you taking time off from your busy schedule to join us. Dataquest launched its first magazine in the month of December 1982. Since then, it has been actively advocating the role of technologies across sectors. We will be celebrating the 40 years of our inception over this next full year, and in our 40 years campaign, we will feature leading stalwarts, visionaries, technocrats, industry leaders, and academicians. We will be happy to share more about the 40-year journey with all of you over the next few months. Today, we will talk more about Dataquest Annual T-School Survey and Ranking, which we have been publishing since the last 17 years. Along with Dataquest, we also publish the Digital Index, which is digital quotient of the engineering colleges, and Employability Index, how employable are the students. At today's conference, Dataquest T-School Higher Education Conference and Awards will provide the engineering colleges to showcase their prowess to the entire education ecosystem across India. It is a forum wherein higher education policymakers, academia across enterprises, academias otherwise, and L&D experts will deliberate upon the current higher education scenario of Indian colleges and methods and ways to embrace the technological know-how for better learning to make the younger generation future-ready and technical-ready. The discussion also aims to cultivate the research and development capabilities among the students, and at this forum, we will be recognizing and felicitating the best of the engineering colleges in India. I would first, before we start the entire session, I want to appreciate our partners for their ongoing support to bring the Dataquest Higher Education Conference and Awards to you. Our platinum partner, Intel and Lenovo, gold partner, Ruckus Networks Comscope, associate partner, Nixie, academia partner, APJ Education, and research partner, Cyber Media Research. Well, at this point, to enlighten us with the opening note, I would like to invite Sunil Rajguru on the stage. Sunil Rajguru is the editor of Dataquest and PCQuest magazines along with CiOL.com. He does regular video features like PCQ, #Tech Talk, and CiOL Tech News of the Week. Rajguru has over 20 years of experience and having worked with IT research firm IDC India, Tech Lifestyle magazine, Living Digital, and HindustanTimes.com. Let's give a big round of applause to Sunil Rajguru. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for that introduction. So anyway, it's as she said, it's great to be here, 40 years. Just imagine we began this journey 40 years back. And it's quite commendable because in 1982, when we launched Dataquest, I think 99% of Indians hadn't even heard of IT. That term itself, nobody knew what IT was. And it is under those circumstances that we began. But of course, it's been a wild roller coaster of a journey. I think it really began in 1984 with the National Computer Policy, the NCP 1984. And that set the tone for the nation. We even hear that today, you know. For decades, we have been hearing Rajiv Gandhi computer laya India mein. That is where it all began from. In 1986, we had the software policy, and a lot of people don't know that educational institutes got the internet in 1988. Even though the internet came later in 95, 96, academic institutions and government offices, they got the internet, private internet in 1988. So you can say 80s was the time when the Tech India story was being written. All the offices got computerized, the banks started getting computerized, and you had the DTP revolution. Today's generation haven't heard of the desktop publishing revolution. The graphics card and DTP, that transformed the entire industry and media industry. And of course, I think 90s, we went to the next level. because you had liberalization, we became a consumer economy, you had the national telecom policy, you had the public internet, and cyber cafes introduced all of us to the internet, and then you ended it with the Y2K crisis, which looked like a doomsday scenario, but that is where the Indian IT services industry was launched. So and I think after 2000, everyone knows mobiles, startups, apps, and digital India. So I mean, Dataquest also has from 82, in the 80s, I think we were the only people who were, covering the IT industry. And we used to cover hundreds of, that time you had hundreds of software and IT companies, we used to cover all of them. And we had something called the annual top 20 ranking, and that was the only one of its kind. Interestingly, even today, if you go to the 80s research, even in government, even in the World Bank, you will find most of it has come from Dataquest. There was a time when only Dataquest was the only source for that. So, and of course, we kept building on that. So, 90s, we came out with the ICT awards. We have completed 30 years of that. And if you look at the ICT awards, that includes the who's who of the industry, from the government, from everyone. And we'll be having that in the JFM quarter. So, hope to see you there. So, and of course, coming back to T-School. So, we launched the T-School initiative. Again, we are one of the first to launch that, one of the first engineering rankings. Now, it's fashionable for everyone to do it. And we came out with college rankings, we came out with, employability rankings, and most importantly, we came out with a digital index, which is very relevant today. And I'll divert a bit here. I don't know if you have heard of Scott Adams. He's a Dilbert cartoon. He's also a futurologist, a startup, and a cryptocurrency founder. Most of his predictions have come right. He made a prediction that online education in dollar terms is going to be the single largest industry in 10 to 15 years. Now, why did he say that? Because learning was always a lifelong process, but now I'll say professional learning is a lifelong process. Everyone is going to be, before you did your education, you learned a few skills, and you didn't do much for life. Now it's lifelong, you have to learn, unlearn, skill, reskill, upskill, repeat. And this you will even do at the age of 60, 70, and that is why I'm very happy to see all of you. It's great, because all of you have been part of this great journey, and all of you are going to have a great journey with online, offline, hybrid education in the future. So it's great to be part of your journey too. So I'd like to thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sunil.